Doing Matt again, I'm glad you're back. Now, going back to my previous video in regards to jealousy and envious people, and a good point was brought up. The fact that when a good sign to tell when somebody is envious of you is that they'll make smart comments and they'll be overly critical of you, meaning they will criticize you for the most pettiest trivial things. They'll just be overly critical of you just for no reason, just out the blue sometimes. And when a person is envious like that, they can't wait until you slip up. They can't wait till you slip up or fall. They're looking for it. They can't wait till it happens. And in the meantime, they'll make these remarks. This criticize you for the most trivial things. They'll be overly critical of you for the most pettiest and trivial things. They're envious. They're just envious people, man. These people you gotta stay away from, man, because they cannot wait till you fall. They can't wait. When people are envious of you, they feel intimidated and threatened in some way, shape, or form. And when they are intimidated and threatened by you and what you're doing in your existence, they will want to counterattack and attack you for that. You're making them feel uncomfortable. These people have not worked on themselves. It has nothing to do with you. It's nothing to do with you. Keep doing your thing. It has nothing to do with you. And I was reading this article, and it gives you the 30 most common reasons why people might criticize you. 1, they are threatened by your competence, attractiveness, so they are trying to level the playing field. 2, they have a concern about your motivation, skill level, performance, or contribution. 3, they feel you are not doing your share of the work or being a team player or just period. 4, they have a strong unmet need that is not being satisfied. 5, they have a controlling personality and have to be in charge. 6, they feel entitled to special treatment or status and do not feel they are receiving it. 7, they want to make you look bad so they advance their own position or curry favor with the bosses, or just in general, I would say. 8, they feel insecure and they are overcompensating. 9, they think you are making them look bad in front of others. 10, they feel criticized by you and are counterattacking. 11, see, it's so many things, and most of the times, it's negative. When somebody comes at you out the woodwork and just want to criticize you and they make smart and snarky remarks, 9 times out of 10, it's all negative, and it's all because they are envious of you. They can't wait till you fall. These people, man, they're sitting in the background. They cannot wait till you fall and slip up, man. And as soon as you do that, they're going to attack you, man. They're going to attack you. They're going to attack you like some pit bulls, man. They're going to attack you, man. They're just envious. Envious people, man. They're like monsters, man. You got to stay away from them. So it's something to look out for. But the only thing I would say is to remain focused. Remain focused. Don't let people change you. And just center yourself around positive, uplifting, encouraging people. And keep focused on what you got to do for your life.
Inshallah, I want to draw your attention to an historical incident, an event that took place last week. Inshallah, you brothers and sisters can go back to the YouTube and check it out. There is a brother, a revert brother. His name is Tahir Wyatt. Tahir Wyatt. His kunya is Abu Abdurrazzaq. I met the brother maybe about 15 years ago, something like that. Maybe more, maybe less. Allahu Alam. Anyway, he was accepted to go to the University of Al-Medina in Saudi Arabia. He went, he learned the Arabic language in the institute there. And then after that, he went to the faculty of Al-Hadith, where he excelled academically for 4 years. And then they accepted him to do his master's, and he completed his master's. And at the moment, he's about to complete his PhD, inshallah azawajal. That's not historic. Well, it is historic because he would be the first African-American revert Muslim who is getting a PhD from that prestigious university. But bigger than that and more important than that is the fact that last week he was given an opportunity to give the first lesson in English in the Prophet's Masjid sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Secondly, I want to bring to your attention that there are some haters. This hardcore Salafi stuff that some brothers are on, this judgmental taqleed al-a'ma that ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to curse it. A taqleed al-a'ma, when it's not even necessary.
I am
you must
Salafi,
follow my sheikh.
and I don't care what anyone
If you don't
says.
follow
I'm
my
Salafi.
sheikh, then
Every one of
something
you
is
is
wrong
not
with you.
Salafi. You're not
We
Salafi, and you're not
opposed
Salafi.
that
I'm the
stuff
Salafi.
when we came into Al-Islam, when we saw the Asian community following Abu Hanifa blindly, when we saw the Asian community following their peers, following their Mulvi Sabs, following their Imams blindly. As a result of that Hizbiyah, people who are supposed to be on the Kitab and the Sunnah, they opposed this man, this brother. They opposed him. They opposed him for no other reason aside from him not following what they believe and what they say, or following what their sheikh tells them to do, and so forth and so on.
Should we have taken the position that we took, or should we just close our eyes to this batil and put our fingers in our ears and pretend that we don't know of it or that it doesn't exist? What should we do? Or jealousy, mashallah. Everybody that is spoken against is jealousy. Everybody that gets spoken against with jealous.
Tahir White, who is another individual. And the people are saying, what are the issues against Tahir White? Tahir White, أيها الإخوة, is one that those who were present in Islamic University at the same time that Tahir White was present and studying will know that Tahir White was at the head of those who were waging war against the people of Sunnah, whether in Philly or in the Islamic University of Medina itself. This affair of waging war against the people of Sunnah is not light. It is not light, ikhwan, and as we've mentioned previously, it is one of the clearest signs of the people of innovation, that they have hatred for the people of Sunnah. They have dislike and hatred for them. And it likewise goes against the affair of al-wala wal-bara. The asl and the fundamental of al-wala wal-bara is that we have wala for the people of Sunnah. And we don't fight against them and wage war against them and try our utmost to destroy them and bring them down, unless they oppose the Sunnah and they are advised and they remain staunch upon that opposition, in which case we make rad of them, as Ahlul Sunnah always have. We refute them, as Ahlul Sunnah always have, and we make their faith clear, as Ahlul Sunnah always have. That has not changed and will not change. And this is the problem that they have with us, because we won't remain silent. And because we understand when those usul are being opposed, that it is unfortunate that they don't seem to understand them. And perhaps, ikhwan, that returns back to the fact that they were never mulazimeen of the Mashaykh of Medina. They were never mulazimeen. One or two of them attended some durus. But the brothers who were present in Medina at that time will tell you they were not mulazimeen. That is, whether we're speaking about Shadid Muhammad, whether we're speaking about Tahir White, those brothers were not mulazimeen. They would visit. Na'am. They had relationships. Na'am. Does that mean they never attended a dars? Of course it does not. But they were not as this big image that we're hearing right now, that they, mashallah, were students of those mashayikh. They were not mulazimeen of the mashayikh. And thus we see these errors arising in their methodology, these big holes arising in their manhaj. And so they're being made out as though there's some academic geniuses who have, mashallah, excelled and on every level of academia. And we're hearing that being claimed about Tahir White. Those who have the inside scoop will know that Tahir White, the reality is that he didn't even pass the examination to get onto the masters. Now that's something that many will not be able to tell you. but that there was royal intervention. And that he went to visit a prince and received a letter. This is all inside information now. Or jealousy, mashallah. Everybody that is spoken against is jealousy. Everybody that gets spoken against, we're jealous. But the point is, the point that we're trying to make with this is that let us deal with people, ikhwan, in the realms of reality. Those who know, know. And those who don't know, then should remain silent. Those who know, know.
I remember a student in knowledge. This is the same guy who, was expelled from the university 3 times, kicked out of the Islamic university 3 times. How do you get kicked out of an Islamic university? I still, just for the life of me, can't figure that out. Nonetheless, was kicked out of the Islamic university 3 times. This guy from the UK, all right? Someone that, many of you guys hold him to be such a big scholar, mashallah. Abu Fulan and Abu Fulan, kicked out of the university 3 times, right? And he got on public and was asked, why didn't he graduate from the Islamic university? And this dude had the audacity to say, the Hizbis, the Hizbis infiltrated the Islamic university and, stopped me from getting my education. And it's just like, dude, you were kicked out 3 times. You spent most of your time there giving lectures to other students who had, here again, that lack of intellectual autonomy, right? You can't think for yourself. Here you are at the prestigious Islamic university, and you're sitting learning from Abu Fulan and Fulan rather than going and sitting with scholars that are right there. As a matter of fact, to make things even worse, you had students of knowledge telling other students not to sit with certain scholars. Go figure. Think about the absurdity of this. And this, I'm letting you guys in on stuff that you probably wouldn't know unless you were there. If you know, you know.
Because the image that is being painted right now, and it is for a reason. It is for a reason. The image that is being painted right now is that we have a marja'iyah that is kamila. We have a body that we can return back to in all of our affairs. We need no one else. If you want shuyukh and you love shuyukh, alhamdulillah, we have that. Al-Shaykh al-Fulani wa Shaykh al-Fulani. If you love academia, alhamdulillah, we have academics who have far excelled the other students in the West. If you love a bit of YouTube, then we've got our little YouTube entertainers. If you like your chat shows, then we have our own Islamic chat show host. And if you like fatwa, then heck, we even have a mufti. Or jealousy, mashallah. Everybody that is spoken against is jealousy. Everybody that gets spoken against, we're jealous. Ikhwan, understand what is taking place here. Understand it, look at it, see it for what it is. Understand it well. And so, ikhwan, the people of Sunnah are not taken by this whatsoever, not impressed by it whatsoever. And these issues, brothers and sisters, we need to understand that when we make these statements, when we take the positions that we take, when we take the stances that we take, when they are based upon legitimate observation, legitimate knowledge, legitimate experience, knowledge of history, legitimate issues. It is not, ikhwan, guesswork or jealousy, mashallah. Everybody that is spoken against is jealousy. Everybody that gets spoken against, we're jealous. It is ajib that we should hear these statements. Tens of dozens of individuals that we've spoken against for opposing the Sunnah. We're jealous of all of them. All of them were jealous of Ikhwan. Ahl Sunnah have love for the people of Sunnah, those who call to the Sunnah, and those who propagate the Sunnah, and those who call to the ulama of the Sunnah. They have love for them and they propagate them and they promote and they push them, whether they are from of the same background or not. Ahl Sunnah unite on the basis of their love for the methodology and the Sunnah, and their dislike for opposing the methodology and innovation. That is what unites Ahl Sunnah, ayyuhal ikhwa. These issues are valid issues, valid observations. Or jealousy, mashallah. Everybody that is spoken against is jealousy. Everybody that gets spoken against, we're jealous. And they are not, ikhwan, dhunoon and conjecture. And it is imperative that we understand that. Ahlul Sunnah never work with dhunoon, and never act upon conjecture. And if you are not clear with the positions or what the positions are based upon, then it is important that you study. It is important that you research. It is important that you ask the necessary questions, that you may be upon clarity kadhalika.
Much of it would be beneficial, because the issue here is we want to benefit people, not get people wrapped up in the he said, she said, and who shot Jane and how she died. I think that it's more important advice for a person to recognize when they get here. It's like college, man. It's like college. Brothers come here, some join a fraternity and some don't. And the brothers who join a fraternity, they do it for different reasons. Some of them, they honestly believe in, the premise of whatever it is that fraternity follows, and they believe in it and they follow it. Others are doing it for the brotherhood. They feel like they're away from home. They already feel like a disconnect. They don't want to be ostracized, and they want to get with a clique. And so they just kind of join on and just, when a person comes here with a goal in mind, they don't want to leave until they've memorized the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They want to memorize certain mutun, primers in each discipline. They want to study those primers, not just memorize them, but they want to study those primers with the people of knowledge who are specialists in those fields. You start to see that 24 hours in a day is not actually enough. You need barakah. You need that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put blessing in your time, put barakah in your time, such that your 18 waking hours or 16 waking hours, hopefully you get to the point where you don't have to sleep 8 hours a day, but those waking hours that you have, that they are more than what they actually are, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts blessing in them, because there's not enough time. And what you find is that there's some brothers that come here and they leave like they came, because they've joined a fraternity here. That fraternity focuses on he said and she said, and let's go sit with this sheikh, but not for a lesson. We're not going to sit with the sheikh so that we're going to sit with the sheikh and we're going to listen to what the other people say about this person from Morocco, this one from Algeria, this one from Sweden, this one from wherever like that, and we just hear, and now we know all of the people around the world and what they do and how they did it. And then at the end of the day, they look back, and a person is honest with himself. After a year, after 2 years, they have to look back and they have to look at their measurables. What did I really gain in this period? Am I closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or not? This is why one of the things that is a very important piece of advice, not just for tulab al-ilm, but for a Muslim in general, is that it's not about how smart you are, how strong your memory is, or even your program. It's about tawfiq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is Allah Azza wa Jal guiding you on that path? Do you have divine guidance? And this is one of the reasons why we frequently tell the brothers here, from the very early on in the seeking knowledge, learn adhkar al-sabah wal-masa. Those specific dua and adhkar that the Prophet ﷺ would say in the morning after Fajr and before sunrise, and in the evening after Asr and before sunset. What did the Prophet ﷺ say when he would enter the masjid? What did the Prophet ﷺ say when he would put on his clothes or put on new clothes? What did the Prophet ﷺ say when the wind would blow, when he heard a dog bark? Went to the end of it. Because you have to develop your own relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Allah Azza wa Jalla will guide you on that path that you are seeking. And a lot of the students of knowledge, they're going to memorize this matan, and we're going to memorize Alfiyat ibn Malik and Nahu, and we're going to memorize all this and all that. But they have no extra ibadah. I mean, and the reality is that if you don't have any extra ibadah, chances are you're falling short somehow in the obligations that are part of Islam. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is obligated that we pray 5 times a day. And for the men who hear the adhan, we live around the corner from the masjid, we need to pray in the masjid. Well, how many salats have you missed praying in the masjid? How many times have you missed the first rak'ah? How many times to the end of... How do we make up for that? We make up for that by doing voluntary acts of worship. So we pray our rawatib, those 12 extra rak'ahs that the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, that if a Muslim prays them in a day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will build for him a house in Jannah. And one of the most consistent things that you can do is those adhkar and that dua. The Prophet ﷺ said, ad-dua huwa al-ibad. Dua is the worship. And we understand that. In English, we say so-and-so is the man. The Prophet ﷺ said, dua huwa al-ibadah. It is the worship. Yani, it fulfills, yani, it is the essence of all worship. I mean, you look at it, Salat is built upon dua. The most important day of Hajj is Arafah, built on dua, right? I mean, making dua. So this is the thing, for a student of knowledge to come here and waste their time, you know, with this one said that and that one said that, and running around with a crew, this shows that there's a disconnect and that they need to take their time to reconnect and to build that relationship